Welcome. Welcome to 5 Minutes with Robert Adams, where I share my findings from the Bible about the end time, and especially that which concerns the return of Jesus. This is episode 10. The book of Revelation not only tells us about the Antichrist, but also that he will be assisted by a man who's referred to as the false prophet. While the Antichrist is presented as a political leader, his assistant will apparently be a religious leader. In the book of Revelation, we are told he will be able to perform great and miraculous signs. In this way, he will deceive the people of the world and command them to worship a speaking image of the Antichrist. He sees to it that those who refuse to worship this image pay with their lives. The false prophet is also going to introduce a system that ensures that those who are outside of the system are handed over to hunger and want. We read in the book of Revelation that he forces everyone to receive a mark on his right hand or on his forehead, so that no one can buy or sell unless he has the mark. We are told that this mark is the number of the Antichrist's name. Apparently, the enforcement of the marks presupposes a central system that controls each individual's right to subsist. This system could perhaps involve computerized financial transactions. When the time comes, the false prophet could make use of such a system to exercise complete control on behalf of the Antichrist. As to what the mark points to is unclear, but it appears to be a visible sign permanently etched into or on the skin, or else just covering the skin. The book of Revelation gives strong warnings against being seduced into receiving the mark. We read, "If anyone worships the beast and his image, and receives his mark on his forehead or on his hand, he himself shall also drink of the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out full strength into the cup of his indignation. He shall be tormented with fire and brimstone, and the smoke of their torment ascends forever and ever." The false prophet's intention will be to cause all who refuse to worship the beast and his image to be killed. Since worshipping the Antichrist and receiving his mark are tied together, we can assume that refusing to receive the mark will be regarded as refusing to worship the Antichrist. Those who do not submit to the Antichrist will be sentenced to death. We are told in the book of Revelation that many are going to die by being beheaded. Beheading is a form of execution used by Muslim extremists. This is an indication that fundamentalist Islam, which in its purest form is both anti-Semitic and anti-Christian, could very well be the Antichrist's system of government. The saints will have to stand firm. Hence, in the context of the Antichrist's persecution of those who do not worship him, we read, "This calls for patient endurance and faithfulness on the part of the saints." In this connection, we read that the Antichrist will exercise his authority for 42 months, which is equivalent to 3.5 years. This shows how long the Antichrist will oppress the saints. During his reign of terror, the Antichrist is going to persecute them with all means at his disposal. In his end-time discourse, Jesus said concerning his disciples, "Then you will be handed over to be persecuted and put to death, and you will be hated by all nations because of me." Today, there is growing opposition against those who believe in Jesus. Of the 50 countries in the world where faith in Christ costs the most, 3/4 are Muslim countries. Believers are discriminated, maltreated, imprisoned, ousted, and killed. This will only increase as we approach the end of the age. What you've just heard is based on an excerpt of a book I've written called The Approaching Apocalypse. You can get information about this book from my website, lastdaysdetectivepublications.com. Thank you for listening.